Okay, so this is really a quick video, not 5 minutes turning into 30 minutes or an hour. People have been asking periodically how I do what I do with pictures and where I got my pictures, and I've spent thousands of hours developing my abilities with photographs, and I don't even really know how I started or when. I guess I could look. I guess I'd figure it's been 2 years that I've been analyzing. I call it analyzing or clarifying. Yeah. It is called paranormal photography, technically. And somebody sent me a video documentary about a woman who lives in Massachusetts, and she's like 70, I think, now. Maybe younger, I don't know. But they did a documentary about her and studied her and did MRIs and CAT scans and all kinds of testing on her to see how she did her photographs. And mine are like, astronomically, I don't want to say better. Those are kind of cool. But, mine are like literally out of this world, out of this dimension, out of what humans think is possible. Dragons and angels. And you know my photographs. And if you don't, then you will. But I look at it like the word human, remember, I guess this is going to be a longer video because now I'm teaching, so I usually don't shut up. But hey, how's it going, Johnny Berg? Johnny R. Berg is a good man. He's a good soul, and he deserves a mention because when I read what he writes, it's like I can hear his voice. The spirit and the goodness in him is good. It's strong. He speaks from a good place, and he's the only person I've ever read his words and heard him speaking it while I'm listening. So that's pretty remarkable, since I've never heard him talk. And no, I'm not going to imitate his voice for proof. I don't need to prove anything. Not much, anyway. So, paranormal photography. So the word human means hue, man. Hue, is like the color, the frequency, the electromagnetic bandwidth, the visible light spectrum, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, that you can see generally, that people generally can see, is like, it's like a sliver. Let me undrape myself. It's like, this, and the whole, from X-ray to, gamma is like that. So it's like, here's one octave. Okay, so think of it like that, an octave. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So that's 7 notes. There's seven notes in the musical scale, 7 chakras in the body, 7 days of the week. So that's 777. Kind of an important number. Not that I'm advertising numerology, I'm not. So there's 7 colors within the visible spectrum. Below red, we have infrared, which is below red. And in the chakras, red is your sacrum, your reproductive, your sacral, the sacral, Ishtar, fertility, rod and staff, spine, and phallus. So it's sacred, and it's the foundation of life, because that's how we reproduce and exist. It's the origin of our existence. And that's why it's been made profane, to subjugate you. And that's why they want you to circumcise, to subjugate you. Don't circumcise. It's an evil act perpetuated by evil men. So that's red. And then above violet, you know, what do they call it there? They call it ultraviolet, right? Infrared and ultraviolet. And again, that's just 7. Then you have like neon lights. So my point is, there's, on a piano, there's like, I don't know how many, 5, 6 octaves? Well, the visible light spectrum is 1 octave. So that just repeats, you know? And in one direction it goes faster, 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 the vibrational frequency, and in the other direction it goes slower, slower, slower. So the ultraviolet is the faster frequencies, and the infrared is slower frequencies. You understand? You understand. You have the visible spectrum of light. The visible, everything that you can see, all the colors that you see, what you see based on the light from the sun and light. And you see it reflect off of things, and you see those colors. That light and that vibration, that frequency, that electromagnetic sphere of influence is within your visible, what you can see, generally, what humans can see. This is what human means. This is why people say human. I'm like, people don't even know what human is. You know, there aren't that many humans. We're making humans around here. You're invited to be human. How's it going, Tim? Maria? Tyson? And of course, Johnny Berg. Johnny R. Berg. Johnny R. Berg. So you got your frequencies of light. You got that well enough. You can look up electromagnetic spectrum. I'll post something in the link here to help with that. But it's pretty basic. We've gone over it before. So you've got that. Okay, so that's one category. That's one factor. And then now think of a radio man. You guys ever watch We Were Soldiers? It's a good movie, but there's a scene, We Were Soldiers Once, and Young, with Mel Gibson. Great movie. Great movie. There's a scene where they go to the part of the training ground, and one guy's there messing with the radio. And Mel Gibson, general guy, or whoever he is, I think he's a general, probably not. Maybe he is a general, I don't know. He's on the ground doing the fighting, so I don't know what rank does that. Somebody in the military tell me, because I don't follow this stuff. I don't know much about it. All right, so he walks over there, and some guy's already dialed in the radio, and Mel says, who did that? And the guy's like, me. And he's like, you're my radio man. And he's like, but I don't know how. And he's like, you'll be fine. You'll figure it out. So, electromagnetic spectrum, and then the audio. You know, tuning a radio, or a picture like before everything became digital and crappy. Think of what are those things even called? The graphic equalizers? The equalizer where you can adjust the bass, and there's like a bunch of like little levers you can slide. That's really important. That's one of the things I learned, or I didn't. It's one of the things I saw in a vision one night. I have all kinds of visitors, as you know, but one night they showed me some sliders that were really unique, and this clock that was unique. Hold on, I'm making a video. Dawn. And the next day I put on Netflix. watched a documentary about Tesla, and I swear to God, not that I do that often, you should just believe me by now anyway. I'm making a video. And in the video, the next morning, that I just instinctively, or whatever, for some reason decided to study that, and those exact things were there. But Tesla's important because he was probably, might have been me. He was me, I was Tesla. But that stuff's already done, so I don't need to do that. Now I do this. So he was in communication with them, and they communicated the images to me by showing up in my room. So there you go. You got electromagnetic spectrum. Hey Allison, how are you? You got electromagnetic spectrum, which is the colors. You have the hue of the human, he who can see the sound and color of, and hear the sound of the universe, which is coincidentally or unimportantly a musical fourth. It's kind of dissonant, but it doesn't sound bad. It's not like a weird sound like a musical sixth. You can look up a musical fourth. It's the first and the fourth sound of the musical scale combined. And it is important because the 7 colors, the 7 notes in the scale, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is how things are made. So you got the colors, you have the dialing of the radio, you have Tesla, and they showed me the sliders on a particular machine. But anyway, and the radio man who's who's tuning it in. I got stories for you about tuning for another day, but someone just asked me how to do it, how I do it, and someone else, my friend in Pakistan, Lahore, Pakistan, I don't know how you pronounce it, but the Pakistan people are really receptive to what's going on, as is Africa, and this is really good because we have good things going on here in the United States, spiritually, with Atlantis, the Illuminati. And I called it Illuminati because we're giving light and information and truth, and there's no affiliation with any other, anyone else who calls themselves Illuminati. That's why, Amero goes first. I'm responsible for the content. I trust me. You trust me. I'm gonna be trustworthy. But they asked how I made the. She said. What'd she say? She said, I don't have an MRI, like a way to do MRIs with photography, and I couldn't explain easily how I do what I do. I don't even remember how I started doing what I do. I'd have to look back to my photographs. Just a gift, I guess. I'm clairsentient. All my senses are, enhanced, including my eyes. Yeah, that's another story too. How my eyes. Yeah, so it's complicated. I mean, everything is a long story. You want a simple answer from me, then I'll give you like an answer that won't make any sense to you, or you can listen to a long explanation. I'll give you more information than you ever expected, and you'll probably have to listen to it 3 times to understand. And if you write out my videos and send them to me, I'd really appreciate it, because nothing I do is scripted. If anything, I write down 3 things, like 6 words, just so I try to stay on topic. Paranormal Photography, how I make the pictures. So I use my phone, only my phone, an iPhone 5 or an iPhone 6. Any phone will do. Just because that's what I know how to use. A great camera. I asked people for a while, I'm like, if you want better pictures, then send me a better camera and send me an infrared camera, you know, send me a computer with some editing equipment, because everything I do on my phone. And as far as what's available publicly from anyone, my photographs are by far the best in the world. You know, I'm the best paranormal photographer in recorded history, and there's no question about it. It's not ego, it's just obvious, like, it's just so obvious. So like I said to Dan when I taught him the information for the Da Vinci Code, the lost symbol, I said knowledge is for the people. And I know I say I do a lot of things for thousands of hours, but I do a lot of things for thousands of hours. So I'm gonna have, oh yeah, so I mentioned the MRI because I have done X-ray. I have X-rayed some, what I believe were extraterrestrials. One was on the spacecraft, and I call him the Joker. And the other one was near the incident in England where the guy was taking a picture of his daughter, and there was like a Bing behind him, the something, and then Kodak offered like a reward if anyone could like explain the picture. And nearby that, does anyone know, anyone listening? The spaceman incident, the something spaceman, the Birthway spaceman, thank you, something like that. You can find it if you look for half a second. So Kodak offered a reward, but nearby that place and time was the something Firth, the Hallman Firth spaceman, something like that. That's all I'm thinking about that. I can't remember. It bothers me. So there was a launch nearby, and these two beings showed up on the launch pad, and I took a screenshot of them, and I analyzed. I did my thing, and was able to X-ray them. So. Or get an X-ray picture of them. I don't want to say X-ray because that's not like they're standing there and I'm pointing X-rays at them. I find that to be, that would be wrong, you know? Like, you don't point foreign frequencies at someone because they'll come back and they'll bite you. So don't do that. But yeah, so I just use my phone, and yeah, for me to say I take X-ray pictures of extraterrestrials with my iPhone is completely normal to me because that's what I do. So my friend's gonna send me 5 pictures of the moon, and I still have more pictures I already have of the moon that I'll post soon, but she's gonna send me 5 and I'll post them publicly, and then I'll do my thing and show you guys the steps of the way. And just in case anyone's gonna be like, you know, I blocked someone or unfriended someone yesterday because just the demanding, arrogant nature which they were presenting themselves to me on a regular basis, and I think that was like kind of like their role. So it's not like I'm mad, it's just it annoyed me. But anyone is welcome and encouraged to do the same thing, you know, when when I choose the pictures that I think are most functional and worth the time and effort, then I'll be like, hey, these are the pictures, feel free to you know, give it a try. And it'd be great. I teach you guys how to do this, and you guys will be showing me pictures of Mars, Saturn. Saturn's an interesting place. I know that there's I know that place is it's got big windows on it. People, I would say beings, but they seem like people to me. And I know that they're on there in the center of that, of Saturn. Not the center, but like, you know, the disc around it, or the ring. And on the surface of Saturn, I know there's windows right along that. And I know that because I time travel and astral travel, and I have friends everywhere. You know that. What I do isn't just for Earth, it's for the galaxy. So I have, you know, cosmic. Whatever I do is, I'm cosmic. Anyway, so much for my 5-minute video, but let's do it. Let's do some paranormal photography and teach you guys how to do it. Alright? It'll take time like everything else, but it'll be worth it.